Dallas is a city in desperate need of affordable housing that's built in neighborhoods where crime is low and good jobs are available. And last week, the Dallas City Council approved plans to build Cypress Creek at Forest Lane, low-income apartments near the corner of Forest and Central, a location of relatively low crime. These highlighted slivers and shapes are neighborhoods that Dallas police designate as crime hotspots. And we have found low-income housing is too often built inside these crime hotspots, but Cypress Creek would not be.
The fact that there is little crime is humongous.
Demetria McCain is a fair housing advocate. She wrote a letter in support of the project, pointing out Cypress Creek would be near Medical City, a major employer, near a DART station for public transportation, and the poverty level here is relatively low.
How unusual is it to have the city council approved a housing apartment complex like this in an area of high opportunity?
It is very unusual. Almost always they're approving the ones that are in high poverty, concentrated, racially isolated areas.
I am opposed to this community being developed.
Going to exacerbate the problem that's already there.
This deplores the neighborhood.
It becomes a building that has crime, it has drugs.
There's just no place for this type of project.
Cypress Creek passed despite the objections of neighbors who spoke up against it. They said the approval process happened too fast, and the city needed to address existing problems before introducing affordable housing.
Safety is a huge issue in this area.
Woot Lervisit is a community leader.
It seems often well-intentioned people are in favor of affordable housing as long as it isn't in their neighborhood. Is that true of you?
No, I want affordable housing in my neighborhood. I just want it done in the right way, so that public safety and the issues of homelessness are considered.
This development is not in a crime hotspot.
Living here, I disagree with that. This is our neighborhood. We kind of understand it better than most people.
But it turns out in Texas, angry neighbors can override their city council. All they need is a letter of opposition from their state representative. In this case, Democrat John Turner. It's a state law that's taken a lot of criticism. In 2013, a state commission concluded Texas's law gives too much power to one person, saying officials are often not in a position to meaningfully evaluate a proposed development or obtain community input sufficient to draft the required letters. And an audit by the General Accounting Office in 2016 found letters of opposition can have a discriminatory influence on where affordable housing is built, and that eliminating local approval should be a priority for the federal government, which has an obligation to dismantle segregation.
It all comes down to what this one guy wants to do.
It all comes down to one man, and that's sad. That's very sad and troublesome.
Last Friday, Representative Turner wrote his letter. He opposed Cypress Creek, effectively killing it. Among other things, Turner wrote his decision is consistent with the views of many of the constituents who reached out to me, who made it clear that their objections were rooted in the concerns about specifics of the Cypress Creek proposal and not in a general opposition to affordable housing. The letter is a victory for neighbors who didn't want the apartments, but when you zoom way out, what McCain sees is a failure of policy from the highest levels of government.
If, in fact, the federal government were doing its job properly, they would make sure that states aren't able to change the nature of the program by creating this kind of powerful veto power over the will of the city, over the will of the people.
I'm David Schechter reporting.